In an April 2012 regular season game against the Memphis Grizzlies, Bobcats center Bismack Biyombo talked some trash to Rudy Gay and told him, "This is my house." Rudy laughed it off and told Bismack, "You have 7 wins. It's everybody's house." Welcome back, you guys. Let's talk about the story of the NBA team with the worst winning percentage of all time, the 2011-2012 Charlotte Bobcats. They won just 7 games. Let's try to hit 700 likes on the first day on this video and talk about why they were so bad and what happened to the players on that team. The 1973 Philadelphia 76ers used to own the record for the worst winning percentage in NBA history, but they moved back a spot in 2012 when the Charlotte Bobcats finished the lockout season with 7 wins and 59 losses. When you just take a quick look at the roster, you can see why they were going to be a bad team. It was a combination of inexperienced players and guys who should not be #1 options being placed in a situation where they are the go-to scorer. Guys like Byron Mullins, Derrick Brown, DJ White, Tyrus Thomas, and Boris DIAW were big rotation pieces for them, and they were banking on a 21-year-old Kemba Walker and Bismack Biyombo to breathe new life into the franchise. So how bad were the Charlotte Bobcats statistically? Well, for one, they were the NBA's worst scoring offense. They scored just 95 points per 100 possessions that year. They were the only team in the league to be below 100. Everyone else passed the 100 mark except the Bobcats. Charlotte just did not have any accurate shooters anywhere on the roster. They finished last in three-point percentage. That Bobcats team was the only team in the league to shoot below 30% at the three-point line. All other 29 NBA teams were able to get above it except them. And to no surprise, they also had the league's worst defense, giving up 110 points per 100 possessions. The whole season was a low point, but the lowest point came after All-Star break when Charlotte closed the season with a 23-game losing streak, which is the 3rd longest losing streak in NBA history. 21 of their losses were by 20 points, and 9 of their losses were 30-plus point blowouts. And when other teams were dealing with injuries, they could not take advantage of a game that they could possibly win. The New Orleans Hornets, this was their first year without Chris Paul. They beat the Bobcats in one of the final games of the year by 8 points without their leading scorer Eric Gordon and second leading rebounder Chris Kaman. In the last game of the regular season against the Knicks, Michael Jordan was in his private box high above the court. This was unusual because MJ usually sat at the end of the Bobcats bench for the home games, but not this time. When the scoreboard operator showed a video of Michael Jordan standing in the box on the Jumbotron, there was not cheers for the 6-time Finals MVP in the final home game. MJ was met with loud boos from the home crowd. Knicks point guard Baron Davis said in a post-game interview that he was shocked to hear MJ get booed at a home game. Baron said, "Do you think that's ever happened to MJ at his home court? There's no way, right?" This was the reality of Michael Jordan's current situation. The GOAT NBA player was now considered the worst NBA executive. When MJ was asked in the 2012 summer about Charlotte owning the worst winning percentage ever in NBA history, Jordan kept it really brief. He said, "Obviously, I'm a competitor. I never want to be in the record books for failure." Jordan was getting a lot of criticism for his current mistakes and his past mistakes. Drafting Adam Morrison did not work out, and they also traded away a first-round pick to get Tyrus Thomas, who contributed pretty much nothing for the team. Charlotte caught a lot of heat from die-hard Bobcats fans, but elsewhere, fans were clowning the team for how comically bad they were. Jokes about the 7-win Bobcats team were everywhere on social media. Point guard DJ Augustine said this to the media about the jokes. "Many people are laughing at us and making the streak as a joke, but we take it very seriously. We are just trying to stay positive and play hard until the end." Charlotte Bobcats head coach Paul Silas coached his final NBA game in 2012, and he said this, "The season itself was a long haul for all of us, upstairs and downstairs. Being the worst team in the history of the game is not something you cherish." This part is not too surprising, but it's definitely interesting. There are only 3 players left from that Bobcats team in 2012 that are still in the NBA, and that's Kemba Walker, Bismack Biyombo, and DJ Augustine. Here's what the other players on the team are up to right now. Derrick Brown, a 6'7" small forward, he was actually one of the more productive players on the team. He's playing ball in Turkey. Gerald Henderson, he played in 2016 with the Sixers, but he is a free agent right now and is out for the whole year because of hip surgery. Boris DIAW is back home in France playing pro basketball there. Corey Maggette retired at the end of the 2014 season with the Detroit Pistons. Jamario Moon has been out of the league since 2012. Corey Higgins is playing basketball in Russia right now. Byron Mullins' last NBA team was the Sixers in 2014. Reggie Williams played for the Pelicans a little bit last year and is now in Russia. Matt Carroll retired the next season in 2012. DJ White is playing in Turkey. Tyrus Thomas, the number 4 overall pick of the 2006 draft, has been out of the league since 2015 with Memphis. Sagana Diop, his last year in the league was in 2013. And that is the story of the NBA team with the worst winning percentage of all time, the 2011-2012 Charlotte Bobcats. Definitely a horrible team, the worst offense, the worst defense, they couldn't shoot threes. Just a really miserable team to watch. Shout out to you if you made it to the end. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and follow me on Twitter if you want to, I tweet during the game sometimes. So yeah, I'll leave my Twitter in the description. I'll see you guys in my next video.